What up? It's your boy, Incredible Man. Yes, I am back at it again. And this is BOFURI. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defenses. Episode 7 discussion / review, man. Yes, week in and week out, I tell you guys how much I love this anime, how much I enjoy it, because it's such a wonderful thing, man. It feels so fun. It makes you feel like you're right inside the anime, like you're taking part with Maple and everything. And it fills me with such excitement, man, and it feels fresh. Every episode feels fresh, regardless whether we're just journeying through the actual game itself or they're mastering a new skill or anything like that. It always feels fresh and it takes you back every time, and you just enjoy it so much. Now, this week, it wasn't so much a slowed down, but too much didn't happen because I felt like this week was just them training Yui. Hello, I know their names. I can't think of their names. Okay. Yui. Okay, Yui and Mai. We used this episode to actually have them training and trying to buffer up a little bit. So when the next couple events take place, which is the third event and the fourth event, event being the guild competition, we need them to kind of buff up a little bit. Like they're maxing out their strength and everything, but they don't have any agility or put any skills in anything else. So they're another Maple, but just on an offensive standpoint. So Maple decided to take them on a quest where they can level up, and they decided to attack this monster over and over again. And in that process, they tried to beat their time and everything. And in that process, they gained a new skill. What? Okay, that's what I love about this show. I don't care that Maple's OP, and I love the fact that it's everybody has this particular skill set that they're good at, and everybody seems to be leveling up pretty much easily, and I love it. It's just so fun. It doesn't have to be complicated and convoluted and have like a super simplistic plot. Not simplistic, convoluted plot or anything. It's a simplistic plot where they're just training and leveling up, and they're getting a bunch of skills in the process. And that's what I love about it. It's just fun. You don't have to think about it too much. You can just watch it, enjoy it, and have a nice, wonderful time. So they leveled up, and they got 2 new skills. One skill is that where they can now hold 2-handed weapons with one hand. And then the next skill is like they get like 3 times their strength when they're fighting someone. So what? They were already super strong to begin with. So I'm not complaining, but it's just so nice to see. So that's their whole little story at the beginning of the episode and like throughout once we got past the opening. Then we dive into I know his name too. Yeah, I said he. I didn't say her. Kanade or Kanada. Kanade? I want to say Kanade. But anyway, we learned that he also gained a new skill as well while fixing this puzzle or whatever he was doing. And now he can launch. He has these two little magic boxes that allows him to speak and put a spell in one box, and out of the other box comes the spell, and it doesn't cost them any MP to launch the spell, and he can just launch it just by saying the word without using MP. Granted, it takes MP to put the spell in the store box, but to launch it doesn't cost anything, and he can do it constantly. So that's very nice, and that's going to come in handy during the guild wars. I feel is going to be very, very handy. We also have Kasumi. She didn't really get a particular skill this episode. Maple got more skills this episode. Kasumi was out gathering materials for Ease. Ease didn't get any skills either this episode. Which was wool. I think she was gathering wool, and she gave her a quest to, like go hunt some wool. So Kasumi's out hunting the wool, and next thing you know, she comes in contact with Maple. Maple's out here hunting wool too, and Maple's trapped into this big ball of wool because she got another skill from playing with the sheep. So she played with the sheep. She got this big skill where she can kind of wrap herself in wool, and she was like, this is be a great defense mechanism. Oh, you know what? I can add poison to it. And she was like, well, now she got a poison wool. And Kasumi's like, well, now I can't get to you to save you. So it was nice to have that fun aspect in this episode as well. We had the comedy still going. And then this is something I really enjoyed to the fullest. Maple went in the city. Everybody's out doing all these other particular quests. And she comes in contact with an NPC quest. She comes in contact with this NPC quest, and the lady wants her to help her daughter. And they have to go through this forest to get to this lake to get this magic potion to help her daughter. And the lady, they don't have to go through the forest. Maple uses syrup, and they just fly over the forest. But the lady, the NPC character, is still stuck in her NPC dialogue, so she's spouting all of this nonsense. It was like, "Oh, Miss Knight, you've done such a wonderful job, and thank you for saving me. It was so hard to get through this forest." It was so funny and hilarious to see this NPC character still have to go through her dialogue and Maple not even struggle with everything that she needed to fulfill this quest. And I love the fact that every time she finished one quest, boom, there's another one. Boom, there's another one. Boom, there's another one. And at the end, she got this super awesome skill from like an archangel. And the skill that she obtained lets her change her hair. Her hair becomes yellow. She grows wings, and she gets a halo. And at the same time, she had ease change her equipment to like a white offset of her black equipment. And she gets this new skill. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a protection skill. And as long as their guild members are in this circle with Maple, they're invincible as well with Maple. Maple, she's already super OP, so now she has this other skill that she can protect her guild members as long as they're in this circle and they don't take damage or receive damage. Receive damage, because Maple doesn't receive damage. She takes a minor hit, but it's not enough to matter because her vitality is 1,000. What? How? This is crazy. And that's what I'm saying. It's so fun, and it's so... Yeah, it's like your typical anime, like where like the character is super OP, but I feel like it's so different at the same time because we get Maple and Yui and Mai, and they're characters that like they've never played these type of games before, so they end up maxing out one particular set of skills, not knowing, well, I don't know, should we spread this out? No, they just maxed out a particular set, and that's where all their skill points and all their extra abilities come from, is them maxing out that skill set, but your average gamer wouldn't have thought of that. So I love that fact, and I love that aspect about this anime. And we also have, I have to look up dude's name too. We also have Chrome / Kurumu, the great shielder that was that Maple first came in contact with. He's a part of the guild as well. And this episode, we got to see him go off on his own little adventure as well. He came across this other side quest that let him go into this hidden dungeon. And the only way you could partake in this dungeon is if you've died 4 times. So he's died 4 times, and that allowed him to take part in this dungeon. And the cool thing about it is that it's a hidden dungeon. But I love the aspect that you had to meet certain requirements to be able to take part in this dungeon. You had to have died 4 times, and he died those 4 times. He started taking place in it, and along his journey, he took syrup with him. Maple gave him syrup so he wouldn't be out there by himself, and he was like, "Well, Maple's so trusting. If I was a bad guy or one of those particular characters, I could have just stole you and went off and done my own thing." And Syrup was having a fit, and he was like, "I'm not going to do that, but that's just what could have happened if I was a bad guy." And he was like, he's going to look out for everyone in the guild. And so he's on this quest, and he defeats this huge monster, and at that same time, Syrup gets some new skills, and he gets this cool armor of like this dungeon dead knight kind of guy with like this cool mask gauntlet type thing. Cool outfit, a cape, another shield. Everybody's leveling up, and I feel like it's gonna be needed because the guild wars are taking place after the 3rd event, and it's gonna get hectic, man, because at the end of this episode, while we also have Sally training Mai and Yui to be able to dodge and anticipate attacks. Since they don't have any agility, you can still dodge attacks without having agility. But at the end of this episode, we see, what's the dude's name? Anyway, the number 1 player of the game and the number 2, they have their own guild, the Holy Sword or something like that. And they decided to like, well, we're not worried about anybody else besides like the Fire Empress chick, but we also have to keep an eye out for Maple because Maple's started a guild and they seem to be pretty strong. The one girl in his guild knew about Sally in her PvP attack looking for coins, and they all know Maple's skill set. And at the end of this episode, they were like, well, we're going to have to look out for Maple Tree. And he was like, in the third event, we're not going to be worried about anything. We're going to look forward to the fourth event. And in the third event, we're going to learn about our enemy, which is Maple Tree. So in the third event, I feel like they're going to try some underhanded stuff or try to attack Maple and them to see how they react and learn their powers. Because as of right now, they don't know enough about Maple to really combat her. And they feel like they could lose. And as of right now, I feel like these are going to be the bad guys of the show because when the guild wars take place, they want to try to end Maple and everybody else. But it's not going to go the way that you're thinking. But that's all that happened in this episode, man. And this is your boy, Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe. But only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.